Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Kings podcast with the great big beautiful dads. Mike, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We're back, Steve.
We're back.
We're back for 2026.
Just like we said.
That's right.
You know, people doubted us, but here we are.
You can depend on the Beverly Boys, the Skyliner Squad, the great big beautiful dads. We will have your back. When we say we're going to be here in 2026, we're here in 2026. It's day
we're
one.
Keeping our word. That's right. Day one. For a little peek behind the curtain, it is New Year's Day today when we're recording. You know, this will release a few days later, but
we couldn't have gotten an earlier start on 2026, Steve.
The ball just
amazing.
dropped.
Yeah.
Ryan Seacrest. Shout out to Ryan Seacrest. Shout out to Dick Clark. Yeah, so we just couldn't wait to come back to you for 2026. Mike, I don't know if you're aware of this. You can tell me. It's cold where we live. Did you know that?
It is quite cold here this time of year. I am aware.
It's been cold for like a whole month, I would say. It's been like pretty bitterly cold up here in old Massachusetts. To kick off the year, we wanted to heat things up a little bit. And we want to talk about summertime at Walt Disney World and what you need to think about to book a successful trip to Walt Disney World for the summer. And for those of you thinking about going in the summer, you know, I'm a travel agent, Steve at justaddmagictravel.com. That's step one. Just get in touch with me. And I think a lot of people now, because it's so cold and the holidays are behind us, now is the time when people start thinking about, okay, what are my summer plans? What are my vacation plans for the year?
Yep.
We wanted to talk about going to Disney World in the summer. So, Mike, you've been in the summer quite a bit, haven't you?
I've been many times in the summer, and what I would like to say to the listeners out there is don't be afraid of Disney World in the summer. We are here to tell you how to make it work, what's going to be different about it, all the ups and downs of traveling to Disney World in the summer. But I have done it many times, so I know from experience it can be done. It can be just as enjoyable as going the spring, fall, winter, whenever you want to go. So do not be scared off of summertime travel to Disney World.
Absolutely. I mean, and again, if you live near where we do, I mean, it's hot and humid here in the summer.
Yep. Maybe
Maybe not quite as hot and humid on a regular basis, but it gets up there. You know, you're going to be hot no matter what. And, you know, I just went last summer. I had been in the summer before, but I'm mostly a winter guy. But I co-sign everything you said. And we're going to go through some of the things that people either are afraid of or just need to consider when they go to Walt Disney World in the summer. And as Mike said, the ways to work around those things, to take those things into account. And so one of the things that everyone knows is a problem with the summertime in Florida is the heat. It's hot and humid. So there are many ways to beat the heat in Disney World.
That's
and
right.
Mike, I saw you bring one such item that you can use to beat the heat in Florida. So why don't you talk a little about what you have there?
I don't know if the listeners obviously can't see this, but for those of you who are on the social medias, shout out to my good friend Fish and Chips Fan, who gives me the scoop on what's going on the internet. Because as you know, Steve, I'm not really on social media, but I've got friends in high places. So this right here is officially licensed Disney Mickey Mouse cooling towel.
Oh.
So, Steve, let me tell you, I was skeptical about the cooling towels. I didn't purchase this until I was at Disney on a hot day, and they have these in every shop, up and down Main Street, anywhere you go. And you can see it's like it's a sizable, cooling towel.
Yeah.
And for the listeners, I don't know if you guys have seen these or, I'm sure you could find, not official Disney ones on Amazon or somewhere else. The way these work is you basically just get it wet and then kind of wring it out. And with these, they recommend, like, if it ever gets too hot, you just kind of, like, take it and you give it a snap. So I don't know if you can hear this on the podcast. You give it a little snap, and then it's cool again. I don't know how it works. It's something to do with the fabric. There's no like chemicals involved or anything like that. And then you just kind of like either wrap it around your neck or put it on your face or whatever you want to do to kind of cool off. And then anytime it gets too hot, you give it a little snap and it'll come right back to life and cool down. So like I said, I was skeptical, and I had a friend who was like, you got to get one of these cooling towels. I was like, really? Like those actually work? Yep, they do. So they make a big difference. I would definitely recommend either coming prepared or just grabbing a 2-pack of these on Main Street as you come into the park.
Absolutely. No, it's hard not to be skeptical when you look at it. It's like, this thing's going to keep me cool. It's incredible how well it works. I have Disney ones that we purchased years ago, which work well. And then before our last trip, I bought a few more. They're supposed to be really nice ones. The brand is, I believe it's Frog Togs. Shout out to them. Not a sponsor yet. But they were on sale for like half off, and I think they were like $10 a piece. So I got 3 of them, and they're larger. And I have to say, they actually did work even better in the parks. It's kind of amazing, and they're similar. You use them the same way, but get them beforehand, get them when you're in the parks, whatever. It makes a big difference. But that's just that's a basic, right? That's a step one, right, of staying cool. I'd say another thing: bring water bottles.
Yes.
Your reusable water bottles. There's filling stations. You can also go into any quick service restaurant and just ask them to fill it up, and they'll gladly do that. People do that all day. It's no issue. Make sure to do that. Just stay hydrated.
Yeah, and definitely try to bring a bottle if you have your own, or even if one of the things we did, being kind of local and driving to the parks, is we would just come roll up with a case of like water bottles, have them in the car, or have a cooler that we'd have in our hotel room. And we always had a stroller because we were there with a bunch of kids, and we would just load up the bottom of the stroller. You can bring in like unlimited drinks and food into Disney World. This is something that, like, I don't know if everybody knows this, but it should be well known at this point. You could load up your stroller with a 24-pack of water bottles if you really wanted to do that. But we would just kind of like throw 5 or 6 in the bottom and roll in. And then you can just refill those too. So if you're lazy and you don't want to get the refillable bottle, just roll in with a 24-pack of Poland Springs or something.
Yes.
I don't know what they have in Florida. It's Zephyr Hills and whatever your favorite brand of water is.
It's Poland Springs. I guess that is local. Zephyr Hills.
Poland Springs, yeah.
You would know better than me. You live down there, but yeah. I think it is all the same water.
Yeah, it's definitely all this. It's all coming from the spigot out back behind
That's
Publix.
Right. But it still goes down cool and keeps you cool. Right. And get your Instacart order of the case of water and you're good. Yeah, so that's a really good tip. That again, people, especially if you have that stroller, that's super easy to do. Yep. Another basic one is Disney World. One of the ways, the areas they excel in, is air conditioning. We've talked about this many times before, but go into a show, go into any shop, or even, and this is especially easy in some parks, in some areas of parks, just do indoor rides. Yeah. I think of Epcot, like the basically the non-World Showcase, the Future World, half of Epcot. Every ride and attraction basically is inside. Yep. So it's easy to stay cool on those days. Just go from ride to ride and stay inside as long as you need to. So
definitely. And I would say Magic Kingdom and Epcot are the most well situated for indoor air conditioned activities that you can do. One of the things that, just as you're coming in, you're probably not super hot as you first get there, but one of the ways to stay cool at Magic Kingdom is if you are walking down Main Street, just take a little left turn and walk through the shops. The shops are connected all the way through. And if you want to cool down going down Main Street, you can look at some merchandise, pick out some new things in there while you're at it. But you could walk all the way end to end, basically inside the whole time, and cool right off. And the AC there, they blast it. The energy bills there at Disney World. Bob is really,
shelling out.
He's not like your dad who's turning the thermostat down, yelling at you that you got the AC on too high or the heat on too hot. Bob is liberal with the thermostat. He's letting things fly down there in Florida. Yeah.
What is your house at in January, Mike?
Oh,
What?
see, so I think I was traumatized as a kid because now we're
Oh
just
no.
like, I don't care what the energy bill is. We're just cranking the heat. But, if I go into my parents' house, I'm like, what? Did I just walk into like the cooler at the back of the liquor store? Like, what is going on here? Is this the beer cooler out back? What's happening? Does your heat even work?
I will say this is. I wish I could say it's a daily conversation in my house, but it's much more than that. Our house is at 70.
Okay,
which
yeah.
to me, to me is egregiously high, and to Sabine, my wife, is egregiously low. So
I think we hover right just on. I think we go 68, 69, and then I turn it down a tick at night. Just because nobody needs. You're under the blankets. You don't need to have the heat fire.
Oh man, I need you to come to my house.
Yeah.
And talk. But when I'm home alone, it's down at 64. So so I'm just throwing a sweatshirt. But anyway,
I think we're on the same page, Steve. I think the big beautiful dads run hot.
Yeah,
So
that's right. It's our fiery passion for Disney World
right,
just keeps us warm all
keeps
the
us
time.
going. I'm thinking. My mind is in Orlando,
That's
Florida.
right. You started to talk about just what parks and what areas of parks to focus on or to not focus on. I talked about Epcot Future World. I think is one that is easy, to do.
Yep.
On the flip side, I think the World Showcase is difficult. And there are many indoor things in the World Showcase for sure.
Yeah.
But it's about the World Showcase is kind of best experience, in my opinion, if you're going from country to country, taking your time, meandering, exploring.
Yep.
And that means spending time outside. It's much harder to do that when it's super, super hot. So
it is. I would agree with that almost.
Okay.
I want to call out two exceptions.
Okay.
Here that I think are exceptions to that rule, but I do agree with you. World Showcase is best enjoyed outdoors. And one of the things that I want to talk about a little bit later is like a time of day strategy for dealing with the heat. And one of the things that I would say there is save World Showcase till the nighttime.
Yeah.
But the exception being, I love jumping into the Mexico Pavilion on a hot day. It's great, a nice little cool off. Maybe grab a little tequila and La Cava de Tequila. Maybe go on a little Three Caballeros boat ride. That's a great cool off spot. And then the other thing is if you don't have lightning lanes and you're getting hot, maybe it's okay to stand in the 45 to 50 minute frozen ever after line. That one has a really cool queue and it's air conditioned and you walk through and it psychologically you're in like a village in, a cold frozen tundra of Arendelle and they got the AC pumping in there as well. So that's a nice one. Maybe you don't mind waiting in that line on a hot day. So I would say those are the two exceptions to World Showcase.
No, I think that's 100% right. And I think it's really like if you go into the, in Japan, you go into the Mitsukoshi, thing, the Bijutsukan Gallery, those things. There's one in Norway as well, like the little church thing. And there's those places in each of the countries. But again, that's, I don't know. It's not like you're spending a ton of time in each of those. Right. I mean, you could. You certainly could, but it's just that. And there's no festivals going on in the summer. Yeah. In the World Showcase, so you're not missing out on that. And I think they probably do that intentionally to keep people inside. But yeah, I think that's Epcot in the heat. Is Future World's going to be your better bet? And obviously, run into Club Cool, grab a Beverly to cool off. I mean, what better way?
That's number one on my Epcot list is ways to cool down. Is Club Cool, and I came prepared with
That's
right. merchandise here, Steve.
Amazing.
So, Club Cool is a great way to just kind of like jump in somewhere, get a nice cold Beverly, like you said. I also highly recommend going into either the land pavilion or the sea pavilion.
Yeah.
The sea pavilion has that aquarium and it's cool inside and there's a ton to see. So you could easily spend an hour in there. There's stuff for the kids to do. There's like a little play area and everything too. So you can jump in there and cool off and see stuff in the aquarium. And then also if you don't mind a little spritz, a little schwitz here and there, Steve, you
Oh,
could walk right over to Moana Way
that's
of Water,
right.
and you can kind of hang out in that area. There's misters, there's water flying. That'll be a nice cool down spot for you as well in Epcot.
That's a great point. That's a great thing to do. We'd love doing that this summer. It
Yeah.
did help us cool off a little bit in that kind of misty area. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think of the four, Epcot's the number one easiest to stay cool.
Yes.
I think I mean, the ones that are tough, I think to keep in mind, I think Hollywood Studios, though there are indoor attractions, the great parts of, I mean, there's many great parts of Hollywood Studios, but Galaxy's Edge
Yep.
and Toy Story Land, and I would say especially Toy Story Land. Toy Story Land is very little shade.
Yep.
It's a lot of just outdoor, stuff. Alien Swirling Saucers outside, Slinky Dog Dash outside. Even Woody's Lunchbox is mostly, the quick serve is mostly outside. So Toy Story Land's a tough one in the summer, I have to say.
I agree. The outdoor queue for Slinky Dog Dash, I do not recommend waiting in that one in the heat. I have been there, done that, and it is not fun, Steve. Trust me on that.
No,
yeah, I totally agree. I think Hollywood Studios is the toughest. There are a couple exceptions to that. Maybe, I mean, it's harder now with some of the shows. We lost the Muppet 3D Vision, so that's not available right now. But the Frozen sing-along is a good way to stay out of the heat at Hollywood Studios. And then if you want to spring for it, a good way to kill some time indoors is either Savi's Lightsaber Workshop or Droid Depot. So either of those, you could spend a good hour inside in the air conditioning. Savvy's lightsaber experience, that is like kind of in the dark, cold area.
Yeah.
And it's definitely a good way to cool down. But yeah, other than that, there's not much in Hollywood Studios to get out of the sun.
Yeah, no, it is tight, and most of the queues have at least an outdoor element, and so, a couple of the villain shows inside. You mentioned the Frozen show and the Little Mermaid show is inside as well, but like the Beauty and the Beast and Indiana Jones are outside, right?
Right.
So anyway, it's tough. I think the next toughest, because you said Magic Kingdom's is maybe the second easiest, and I agree. So that leaves Animal Kingdom, which similar in many ways, I would say, to Hollywood Studios. It is tough. It's hot in Animal Kingdom, and a lot of things are outdoors. So just something to keep in mind for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's psychological because it's themed like Africa and India and Asia.
Yeah.
It like feels hotter at Animal Kingdom.
Does.
I don't know if you noticed this, Steve. Like
100%.
Yeah, I don't know if they're pumping in the heat or something. Maybe it's just the way that it's set up, but it does feel a little bit hotter at Animal Kingdom. So that one, I think, good ways to kind of cool off. Some of the rides are good to cool off. I think Navi River Journey is a good one inside. Yeah. That's a good cool down ride.
And Flight of Passage. You spent a long time in that line too.
That's right. Yeah. So Pandora actually is probably the exception there. I think you could probably get some shade under the mountains and stuff like that. But Kali River Rapids, I don't know if you were going to bring this up, Steve. Kali River Rapids, if you don't mind getting completely soaked, because you've got a good chance of getting completely soaked, but you'll get a nice little spray down on Kali River Rapids that can cool you off. And then, as you know, one of my favorite snack spots, Steve, is Anandapure's ice cream truck. It's a great little cool down spot. Grab your Yeti sundae, hang out for a little bit in the shade over there. Yeah, so there's a couple things you can do, but I would say this is probably number 3 on the list of cool down spots.
I think you're right in that psychologically it feels hotter, and everyone says that, and it just, I agree, it is true. I don't know why, but I think with Animal Kingdom, everything you said is right, and I just think we're slowing down, chilling. We're gonna hang out at the Nomad Lounge. We're gonna, Hollywood Studios we're doing everything. It's a go park, which I love, but in the summer it can be a little tough. So I think Animal Kingdom, just to have that attitude, it can be really pleasant actually to have that attitude about it in the summers.
Yep.
So I totally agree with all of those. So things to keep in mind, and there are 2 other parks at Walt Disney World, and they are the water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach.
Great call. Yep.
And so I will say a couple things about the water parks. For many years, I believe this is true, only one was open at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And the other would be down for maintenance, and so whatever. This summer, they actually, for a stretch, opened both at the same time. And we're going to get to some of the benefits of going in the summer, but I'll spoil this one, is that this was true in 25, and it's going to be true in summer of 26. On your arrival day, if you're a resort guest, you can go to a water park for free, which is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say about that, because a lot of times, like, if you're flying in like us, the earliest you're going to land is like 11 o'clock. By the time you get to the hotel and over there, the park closes at 5. Okay, I get a couple hours. It's great, a couple hours. What you can do is, I don't know, actually, you tell me if you are aware of this, Mike. If you do a split stay
Mm-hmm.
and you move hotels in the middle, that day that you move, you can use that free water park benefit on that day as well.
I didn't know that. That's great. Yeah.
So what you can do is pack up all your stuff the night before. Disney moves it from one hotel to the other.
Mm-hmm.
So you drop it off with Bell Services. They know what to do. And then you go to the water park for the day. You can get there at 9 o'clock or whatever, whenever it opens, 10 o'clock, whatever it might be, and spend all day. So that's, I think, a really good thing to do, especially in the summer. If you're curious about doing a split stay, first half of the trip, Pop Century, and second half, you check out Beach Club, right? Something like that. It's a great thing to do. So just a little tip for everybody out there. It's a good thing to do in the summer.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that you could kind of finagle it that way, but
yes,
I did hear about the travel day water parks, and that's great. I mean, that's like basically, it's not quite as much as a full park ticket, but it's a good savings. It's a good benefit for people that want to check out the water parks. What I will also say, Steve, is almost every hotel I've stayed at in the Disney bubble has an excellent pool.
Every single one does. No question about it. Yep.
And so that brings me to one of my, go-to strategies for summertime travel in Walt Disney World is rope drop in the morning, plan a lunch/hotel pool break midday, and either grab an indoor sit-down lunch somewhere, either in the parks or at one of the hotels or your hotel that you're staying at, and then just spend an hour or two at the pool. And then pop back over either to the park you're at in the morning, or if you've got the park hopper, if your travel agent, Steve at Just That Magic Travel, hooks you up with a park hopper ticket, you can jump over to any of the other parks in the afternoon, right? So that's a little callback to what I mentioned earlier about the World Showcase, is if you're going at night, that's a great way to check out the World Showcase, is a little bit after dark. Cools off in Florida. You get, it's easier when there's no sun to do World Showcase and check out some of the stuff over there. So don't feel like you have to be at the park at high noon when it's 95 degrees and sunny where there's no shade. Take a little break. You're not going to miss much in the middle of the day. Hop over to your pool, chill, relax, and come back in the afternoon ready to fire on all cylinders.
Absolutely. No, you read my mind on that one. That was perfectly said. And the thing I'll just say about midday, as you said, is like, not only is it the hottest part of the day, it's also the busiest part of the day.
Yeah.
Because not everyone out there is savvy enough to be like a Magic Kings podcast listener. Okay. Your average Disney World guest is getting to the park at like 11 o'clock and leaving at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And
that's peak time. Yeah.
People plan these things and stuff, but the majority of people, that's just how they operate. So you rope drop in the morning, you leave at 11 o'clock, you come back at 2, 3 o'clock, whatever. Yeah, you missed a few hours in the park, but you are rested and refreshed, and it'll buy you that time, in the afternoon, when, especially, I find in the summer, and you lived there, so you could tell me if this is true, the morning is still pretty hot.
Yeah.
On the hot days. The evening is when it really gets cool.
Yeah.
And maximizing that time as the sun's going down into the night, you're going to have a ball then, and that's when the park will be the least crowded. So I definitely co-sign that. And one thing I'll say just about the midday break, unless you're on the monorail, doing that for the Magic Kingdom, I find, can be a challenge. It's just farther from everything. I don't know. It's just a challenge. So if you don't really want to do the midday break, do your dining reservation for midday. Do a 1 o'clock lunch reservation. That's something that I usually don't do, right? But in the summer, I'm like, let me do that. At least, if I'm not going to do the midday break, I'll have that stopping point to be in AC for an hour and a half or more. So
That's a
for
great
sure.
that's a great call out. And one other thing I wanted to mention about Magic Kingdom, a couple times what we were able to do is actually get a sit down restaurant reservation at Tony's Town Square, and we timed it so that we sat down 10 minutes before the parade was scheduled to go by.
What an
And
expert.
we asked them, and you can ask ahead of time, we asked them for a window seat. So we were inside Tony's Town Square ordering our food as the parade was coming back, like around the end of the parade route, right in front of Tony's Town Square. And that was awesome the way we were able to do that. I don't know if the parade, yeah, 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. So, like,
Yep.
if you wanted a
Same.
late lunch or right at 12, like, try to get that 11:50 Tony's Town Square lunch reservation. That's a little tip.
We should charge for this podcast.
I
That
know.
tip is that's $1 million tip right there. Asking for the window at Tony's Town Square, 11:50. I mean, write that down, everybody. Get your
Write it down.
notebook out.
Yeah.
That is gold.
I think you got to cut this out, Steve. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah.
That's right. All our hordes of listeners will be will be banging down their door. But
Yeah.
no, truly, that is such a pro move, especially in the summer. You're out of
Yep.
the heat, but you still get the parade.
And since we're talking about parade, if you're gonna be outside for parade, maybe try to do the 3 o'clock, not the 12 o'clock, right?
Sure.
Because you're gonna get the sun's at a little more of an angle. You might find a nice shady spot on Main Street. Another kind of little inside baseball tip there is, if you can find a shady spot on Main Street, it's gonna be tough to find one because people get those spots early for the parades, but you can stand close to one of the shop doors and
Yep.
you still get
Get the air.
that blast of AC coming out of the door. That's a good way to cool off too. So
Yeah.
and then I'm going to reveal another one of my secrets here,
Oh
Steve.
my God.
A Magic Kings exclusive, and I might have mentioned this on a prior one. So I'm going to flash the map here. Another great spot is in Liberty Square. There is a spot right here under this tree and sort of next to the ye old Christmas shop where you can see the parade perfectly, and you can sit on one of these like stoops above the crowd and be in the shade. So this is a really good spot to get a shady area where you can still see the parade coming through Liberty Square.
That is such gold. You have mentioned something about that before for sure, but just to emphasize, you do not have to be on Main Street to
That's
see
right.
the parade.
Yep.
And in fact, if you want to not be in the direct sun, if you don't want to be in the most crowded areas, go to Liberty Square or Frontierland, and that spot you're talking about, the kids can stand on the whatever porch or whatever you want to
Yep.
call it. It's just a little bit raised, and so they have a better view, and it's a perfect spot. So if you're there and you see some great big beautiful dads around you, just say, Beverly Boys, and
tip the
nod,
cat.
and you'll know. That's
Yep.
right.
We need a signal. We need to come up with a signal
right.
for the great big beautiful dads. We'll
should get-
figure out something. Yeah.
We need like a plaque there for us. It's like, this is you must know the secret word to stand. And it'll just be
Bring-
Beverly.
You must have your Club Cool cup
That's
to enter.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. No, that's incredible tips there. That is wonderful. Do you have other ways of? Because there's other things that people worry about and things to think about with summer, but anything else on beating the heat?
Yeah. The last thing I will call out for staying cool, and this one is going to be geared toward the parents out there with small kids. If you've got a baby or a toddler, one of the best things you can do is every park has a baby care center.
Yes.
So I've got kids of different ages. My oldest are, last time we were there, were 7 or 8, and we've got 2 younger babies. And we would always try to take a little break in the baby care center. And they've got it set up so that if you've got a couple kids, like the older kids can sit and watch TV, and there's chairs and there's a movie playing typically. And they've got attendants in there. They've got a little shop if you need baby supplies. That is a great spot that you absolutely should take advantage of if you've got small kids, is to take a little break in the baby care center, cool off, change the baby, maybe feed them a bottle or whatever it is, and let the older kids kind of sit and decompress watching a movie. And then one last thing, if you are with a kid with a stroller, I didn't mention stroller, pack that thing full of drinks and snacks, but also get a clip-on fan for your stroller, because the stroller can get a lot hotter than, walking around. The kid in the stroller might not have the breeze or whatever, but definitely get one of those little clip-on fans for the stroller. It's worth the investment for sure.
Definitely, yeah. And the little personal fans, and they're so cheap, right? You can get them online, even if it's not aside from the stroller, just kids or for adults. It's a great investment to just be able to have that. These little rechargeable fans that we have. They're these little things you can carry it in your pocket. They help though. That with the cooling towels, those things actually really do add up to making a huge difference. So,
definitely, yeah,
yeah.
You just kind of want to take the edge off the humidity and the heat, right? Like,
right.
You adjust, but it's still hot, so you gotta really be aware of it and try to strategize and take some time and figure some things out to stay cool. So
absolutely,
yep,
yeah. And the last thing I'll say is just every moment you're outside when it's super hot, middle of the day, counts. Forget your crisscrossing plans, right? Have a plan. And this is, again, if you don't really know what to do with that, or, working with me, with a travel agent, really helps. Say, let's map out our day. You can't map out every minute, but say, you don't have a plan where you're, my first ride is Sienna's, my second ride is Tron, right? You can't be doing that when it's 95 degrees and 1,000% humidity. So,
and there's nobody better to have in your corner than the Lightning Lane legend himself.
That's right.
Steve at Just That Magic Travel. You don't need to memorize all this stuff. Steve will be there for you. Yes.
Now, did I make my family schlep from Tron to Pirates on August 19th this year at 1 o'clock? I sure did. But you know what? It happens. It happens. And we use all those other things we've talked about to deal with that. So, but anyway, sometimes that's just the way it goes. But
that's right.
So we're talking a lot about this time of day, this afternoon time when it's going to be really hot. But you lived in Florida, Mike. You know this better than anybody. What happens every single day at Disney World in the afternoon?
Yeah, you're gonna get a rainstorm.
Yes.
No matter what. Now, if you're from the Northeast, the Midwest, wherever you're from, where you think of rain and it's dark and dreary and cold and it's all day or all week, that is not how rain works in Florida. Florida is a different beast. It's going to rain for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then it's going to be, like it never happened. It's going to be sunny and hot. So don't be scared away from a little bit of rain in Florida. And actually, it's not cold rain. It's nice and warm rain. So, if you're not afraid of getting wet, you could just power on through, right, Steve?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. And we should do a whole episode about rain because it can happen any season. We've gone in the driest parts of the year and it's rained all day. That's really rare, but it can happen. Right. And hey, you're in Disney World. It's not like you're going to, they're going to give you a rain check, right? You got to make the best of it. But
yep. So
we don't have to go through all the little tips of what to do in the rain. The two things I'll say is, because this just bears repeating, is bring ponchos from home.
Yep.
They're much cheaper.
Yep.
You can get the ones in the park. They're fine. They'll actually replace them if they get holes in them. So don't feel too bad if you got to buy the expensive Disney ones. They're nice ponchos, but get them from home. And don't leave the park when the thunder starts. Yeah. Get in line.
Yep.
Because everyone's leaving the park. And what are you going to do? Go to the hotel? You can't, because you can't get in the pool. Right? Because there's thunder. So they're not going to let you in. So get in line. So those are just the things I will always say. But yes, it is going to rain. It is going to rain for a little bit, basically every day in the summer.
Yep.
So being prepared for that. But the other thing I just want to say about rain and the summer is it's hurricane season in Florida.
Yep.
And it's just the reality. Disney World has been closed because of hurricanes a handful of times at most, but very, very rare that it actually closes. I do want to say, if you book directly through Disney, which means if you book through a travel agent, that is directly through Disney as well. So again, work with me and this is all great. But Disney has a hurricane policy. So basically you can reschedule or cancel your package without any penalties if there's a hurricane warning issued in Orlando, for the Disney World area, or where you live within a week of your arrival.
Right.
So just the peace of mind of that is really helpful. And obviously it stinks, the disappointment, right, of your trip getting canceled or delayed or whatever because of a hurricane,
Yeah.
can be tough. I don't want to
Yep.
minimize that at all, but you're covered.
And another thing I would say, Steve, about hurricanes is like you said, I think they probably only closed once or twice over the past couple of years. Florida is huge. Like you always hear about, oh, Florida's getting slammed with a hurricane. Florida is a huge, huge state. You don't realize it until you're there or you drive it from end to end. The likelihood that it's going to be a full impact to Orlando, which is also kind of like in the middle of the
Inland,
state,
right?
inland, is very unlikely. I would not be afraid to book your travel during hurricane season because there might be a hurricane that comes through. And like you said, they do have that policy. And the reason they have that policy is because I'm sure that they barely ever have to really implement those changes, right? So don't let the hurricane thing of Florida kind of scare you away. And everything that's modern in Florida is built to withstand a nuclear bomb because
Yes.
nobody wants to pay crazy insurance rates of an old house in Florida. So everything is crazy up to code for hurricanes, especially Disney World, right? Like everything's
Yes.
concrete. If you're from other places and you hear about hurricanes and how scary they are, do not be scared off by hurricane season or the threat of a hurricane happening in 6-9 months or whatever because you're booking your travel now. Don't let that dictate when you're going to do your trip.
Absolutely. And the thing is, if you're there, it'll be closed for a day at most, right? And that is extremely unlikely. But if you're at Disney World, you're good. If you're in a hurricane, right? It's one of the best places you can be.
Yep.
Now, I think where it is a challenge is if you're not there. In other words, if the hurricane's happening, the days around when you're traveling, right? Getting to Disney World, sure, that can be tough. So my thing, and I say this too, coming from New England, if you're going in the winter, is build in a day or two of buffer for the start of your trip. And I've had to do this. I don't think I've done this for Disney. I've done this for other vacations where it's let's say I'm going to arrive on a Saturday, but I know that we're free that Friday, so we could go the day before, or we could delay it a day for Sunday. I think we had a trip. It wasn't a Disney trip, but it happened where a blizzard was coming on Sunday, and that's when we were supposed to go. So we were like, let's just get one more day of the hotel and go on Saturday, and it worked great. Do the same if you can, for hurricane season. Give yourself a little bit, just a day maybe, of wiggle room.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're there, right?
Yep.
Don't plan a ton of things for your arrival day that you can't cancel. Don't book Cinderella's Royal Table, in Magic Kingdom for your arrival day or the first day. Give yourself a little more flexibility and you'll be good. So I think I totally agree with you, Mike, that it's something that I think makes people nervous. They hear about hurricanes in Florida all the time. And yeah, it's something to think about, but it's not something they say, no, you shouldn't go during hurricane season. No, totally. you should.
Yeah.
So,
and Florida is just, it's massive, right?
Yes.
I lived on the West Coast, but basically the southernmost part of Florida in Naples, and driving from Naples up to the border of Florida, Georgia, Florida border, was 5 hours of a drive.
Crazy.
It's a huge state, and that's, on all highways and everything, that was going fast. So it's a big place. The likelihood of one of those things happening is pretty rare, I would say.
And I'm talking all these Rhode Island people, and that's where I'm from originally. And they're the whole state's 45 minutes. So they don't have that frame of mind.
No, yeah.
So it is really important to emphasize that for sure. So that's the other thing. So the heat and the rain are things to just keep in mind. The last thing I'll say just on summer, and you may not think this, but is crowds. And yeah, we're talking about all the reasons that people are scared to go in the summer. Well, the summer is a great time to go because the kids aren't in school and everyone's on vacation, right? It is. So for most of the summer, it's not to say they're the biggest crowds of the year during the summer, but it's fairly consistent, decently big crowds for most of the summer.
Yep, I would agree with that, and I think you get the school summer vacation crowd, but you also there's actually a lot of, I've noticed, international
Yes.
travelers in the summertime coming on holiday from Europe or wherever, right? Like
Shout out to the UK.
yeah,
A lot
yeah,
of British people in August. Yeah.
they're coming specifically to hear, to try the fish and chips at
That's
your
right.
County because they've heard the hype, Steve. They want to know, does this really live
That's
up to
right.
the hype? And I can attest it lives up to the hype.
That's right.
Yeah, no. So you'll see some big crowds in the summertime. One thing to know about most, we're from the Northeast, right? School for the Northeast starts in early September.
Yes.
Well, most places in like Florida, Texas, and the South, they start in August. My kids, when we were in Florida, started the first week of August back at school.
Crazy.
So if you're in the Northeast or the Midwest, and you want to not, you're going to go in the summer before the kids start school, but you don't want to deal with big crowds, is do that end of August, maybe
Yes.
the first week of September time frame, and you're going to find that it is a lot less crowded. And I don't know if this is anecdotal, so I don't know if this is always the case, but one of the least crowded times that we went was actually like Labor Day weekend.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I was like expecting people to be like, "Oh, the long weekend, let's go," but like the Florida kids had already started school. Like it was not that they weren't going there, and then a lot of people were just getting ready for school to start, so they're not making a Disney trip on Labor Day weekend, right? So if you've got a flexible schedule or you want to get down there for Labor Day weekend, that's a great time to go.
Yes. No, early September is like the least crowded month for sure. And really it's that you're absolutely right. That end of August, I've done that a few times for exactly the reasons you said. And we just did that last year. We went, I think our first day was August 18th. I don't want to say it was dead, but it was very much less crowded than when we had gone, let's say in February,
Yeah.
it's a very noticeable difference.
Yep.
So it's actually a really great time to go at the end of August. For all of my Disney adults out there who aren't going with kids and are flexible, go in September.
Yeah.
It is hot. Don't get me wrong. It is still hot. It's not fall
hot,
yet.
for sure.
But it's, all the things we said will still apply. But
Yep.
it is almost dead. Disney World's never dead, but
Yeah.
it is close, as close as it gets in September for sure. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, September, early October. That's what I've found to be the least crowded.
Absolutely. No, it's definitely true. A few other benefits of going in the summer. So for next year, this isn't just in the summer, but there's free dining plans for kids age 3 to 9, all of 2026. If everyone else in your party is on the dining plan, then the kids 3 to 9 also get the free dining plan. So that's really good.
Yeah.
And then in the summer, this is pretty much, it's been the case every year, even since we were kids. I don't even know if you were kind of aware of this, but there's always a promotion for free dining plans in the summer. Like last year it was June 29th to September 30th, and it was limited. Like we missed out on it because we booked too late last year, but we were in that window for our trip. But so you should book now if you want to get it, or once they announce it. But
Yeah.
there is free dining for everybody. You just get free food. I mean, what could be better than that? Free food at Disney World? I mean, come on.
I have also noticed, well, and maybe this is like, I don't know, Steve, you could probably attest to this better than I can, but as a Florida resident, there was always Florida resident discounts, and they would launch a lot of those in the summertime. There would be like 25-35% off the hotels.
Yes.
Your park passes, if you had annual passes or your regular passes, would not be any different. But the hotels would be significantly, they would throw deals out there all the time just trying to fill rooms, I think. And that they were Florida resident packages, but I mean, Steve, maybe you can enlighten the listeners. I'm sure there's other deals that they throw around in the summertime on top of the dining package, like if you want to get a good hotel package as well.
Absolutely. I mean, last year they had 1 million of them. So, and there's always some kind of discount going on, whether it's Florida resident, as you said. Like even right now, we're not even talking summer, but there's a Disney Plus subscriber discount for certain kinds of tickets.
Yep.
But last ended up doing this. You could do 3-day tickets for Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot for $89 a day, or $99 maybe. That worked out perfectly for them. And that's a huge, as you know, that's a huge savings.
Yep.
We took advantage of a deal for discounted park tickets for children. So I think France tickets were half off last summer. There was also 25 or 30% off certain hotels in the summer, spring and summer last year. And there's some of those deals are in place now, even for the spring. It sweetens the pot for summer, right? Like it just makes it more affordable for the summer. But it's a lot to navigate. And again, I mean, not to just make this a commercial for myself over and over, but it is something that like I can travel agents and I am happy to monitor and to say which of these deals is the best for you, and to say as new deals come along, I can call Disney up and say, hey, can you apply this discount to this package? You save even more money kind of retroactively, or you can, upgrade your room for the same price, whatever, those kind of things. It just kind of makes it easy for you working with a travel agent for those kind of things.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's extra, extra merchandise money you could spend at the gift shop. It's extra food money. You could go to, one of the sit-down restaurants if you want.
More fish and chips.
More fish and chips. They don't count those as a snack in the dining plan. So we've really got to get Bob on the horn here. And
what's he doing with that? I mean, come on.
The fish and chips snack just really has to be. We got to figure that out. We got to dial that in.
But getting that free dining, man, I don't know. It makes it feel like an all-inclusive thing. It's like it's just included, right? It just I love that one. That is such a good benefit.
And you get the refillable mug,
Yes, yeah. And you don't have to pay the $25 each time you get 12 ounces of Sprite. So this
is the real refillable mug, not the one where you've got to pay $25 each time.
Shout out to my sister. I bring that up every time I talk to her. Okay, so. A couple other things that are just happening this summer, or one thing that happens end of the summer, so end of August. Again, we did this on our trip. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starts in August, so that's an opportunity at the end of summer. There's also another after-hours event, the H2O Afterglow at Typhoon Lagoon. Have you heard of this, Mike?
No, I'm not familiar with this.
This is an after-hours event, and actually our number one episode guest, Andres. Shout out to Andres. We'll have him back on very soon. He and his family went last year. I think they had a wedding in Florida, and they went to the H2O Afterglow. So it's an after-hours event at Typhoon Lagoon. All the slides and the water park things are open during that time. You get like free snacks and beverages. So it's like the other after-hours parties. We'll talk about that more since I'm going to one at Epcot soon. But it's a really cool event that happens in the summer. And then another thing is the Cool Kids Summer.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about this. I thought this was a blast. There's just these little things happening throughout the park. So they've announced that this is coming back. It's more character interactions, right? Yeah. The characters coming to the hotels. It's the Goofy dance party in Epcot. It's craft activities, dance parties. Like we had the dance party with the characters in the animation area. It's just all this cool stuff. So the Cool Kids Summer is coming back, and it kind of seemed like it was all slapped together in the last minute last year, honestly. Yeah. I think it's going to be even better this year, so I'd be curious to check that out again.
I think it's so smart for them to bring that back because they got a ton of positive feedback from the different events that were going on with Cool Kids Summer. I think it's a no-brainer to run it back, right?
Absolutely. And it seemed, I mean, who knows how complicated it just seems simple enough.
Yeah.
More characters, more just little things, but as you know, those little things are what stick out in a Disney trip. So And then the last thing I want to say about this summer is that a lot of these special things, new things are going to be there this summer. So Big Thunder Mountain's coming back in the spring. That'll be there this summer. Buzz Lightyear, same thing. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, that's coming back. Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets is going to be opening this summer.
Great.
Seems crazy, but it's happening. I can't wait to see that. The new Smuggler's Run missions with Mandalorian and Grogu are debuting in the summer. Yep. Soarin' Across America.
That's
right. We talked about with our buddy Patrick Warburton. Yeah. That's debuting July 2nd. Yep. And they don't going who knows how long. So that'll be just the new Soarin'. That'll be cool. Bluey. And we haven't taken our victory lap about this on the podcast yet, but Bluey is coming to Animal Kingdom. So it's only a matter of time for the Outback Land is coming.
I'm waiting for the call from Bob. Like, what's going on? He's keeps letting these little tidbits out here and there. There's too many coincidences here. Things that we're talking about are coming to fruition.
Just give us a wink, Bob.
Come on.
We'll know it's for us, like Carol Burnett, just That's tug your ear or something. We'll know that you're talking to us. So
we're going to get an announcement next week that they're expanding Club Cool and they're adding a whole new Beverly specific
Beverly's
section.
Back on the market.
Then we know, Steve.
Exactly. So, Beverly's case of Beverly's going to show up at my house, courtesy of Bob.
Lifetime supply.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else. But Bluey is coming to Animal Kingdom in the Rafiki's Planet Watch, the conservation station area. There'll be a Bluey meet and greet.
Yep.
So that's coming this summer. And the Magic of Disney Animation area, so the remade animation courtyard and everything, which is really a whole redone land, is going to be completed in the summer. That's awesome. Including a new Disney Junior dance party. It's going to be the Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live. So that's all happening this summer. So we talked last time about the year in review and how some of the big updates for Disney World aren't happening in 26. Well, all these things are, and actually summer is going to be a great time to check out a lot of them. So that's another great reasons to go to Disney World in summer of 2026. So there you go. What do you think? Yeah. You gonna book another trip, Mike? You gonna go a couple months after your first one?
Like I said, Steve, I've been laying the groundwork. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull it off, but we might get a day or two. We'll see how it goes.
I have faith. You can pull this off. So yeah, I mean, if you're anything like us and you're freezing your butts off, in the cold of January, get your mind to the heat of Disney World in the summer, and just get in touch, Steve at justaddmagictravel.com, and we'll talk all this through. If this summer makes sense for you, again, if you book it now and discounts come out later, we can scoop those up, So that's all I have to say. But I wouldn't say summer is my favorite time to go to Disney World just because of the heat. Frankly, it's so much fun to go in the winter and get out of the cold here, and it's comfortable there. But in some ways, that late summer, late August time frame is like kind of one of the best times to go in so many ways. So I don't know. I'm a big proponent of that trip if you go prepared. You go prepared, the things we said and much more, but just know what you're getting into, and I think it's just a great time to go. Yeah,
I agree. I mean, I've been all throughout the year, and I wouldn't avoid it. Knowing what I know now, it doesn't scare me away, and shouldn't scare you away either.
Absolutely. So let's heat things up.
Stay cool.
Stay cool.